Welcome to Women Talk. I'm Joyce. It's been said that women talk about everything, anything, anytime, and anywhere. For instance, two women were in a food warehouse and they happened to approach the pumpkin area at the same time. One of them let out a loud screech at the cost of the pumpkins. The other expressed, I should join in because the cost is outrageous. They began to share pumpkin stories. By the time they chose their pumpkins and parted ways, they both had shared the cost they paid for pumpkins prior to COVID, how many pumpkins they planned on purchasing that day, what they were planning to do with the pumpkins. One was having them carved, while the other was strictly for outdoor decorations. They even addressed who or whom would help them with their pumpkin project. Welcome to Women Talk. Today presents another chance for the women of Piscataway to share some great experiences. But before we get to today's topic, let's meet our guest, Lois.
Good morning. My name is Lois Green. I thank you for inviting me to Women Talk.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
About me. Well, as you can tell, I'm a senior. So I was born and raised in Newark. I've lived in Piscataway over 40 years, over 45 years now. I worked during my working history, I was in IT, information technology. Okay. I am now, as a retired person, volunteering to feed the community in Plainfield, New Jersey through my church, Shiloh Baptist Church.
I love that emphasis, volunteering.
Yes, it's a non-paying job.
Let's meet our next guest, Merle Scott. Merle, tell us about yourself.
My name is Merle L. Scott. I was called Mary most of my life. Mm-hmm. I was born in Clayton, Alabama, where I grew up on a farm. I shucked peanuts, picked cotton, and on 1955, I got married and located back in Morganville, New Jersey, where I joined the Whitcomb Memorial Baptist Church. Mm-hmm. And because the house was so small, my husband got a job on 22 with Mr. Mason during making counts. And at that time, we moved to School Street, and in 1993, we moved to Piscataway, New Jersey, which at that time called New Brunswick Heights. Mm-hmm. And at that time, and in 1965, that's when Piscataway got his name. Mm-hmm. And they named it Piscataway because that was one of the Indians tribe named years ago, before I even moved to Piscataway. I worked at many different locations. I did house care, cleaner, part-time, and then on 1974, I joined the Piscataway Bus Company, where I drove school bus for Piscataway for 28 years.
Oh, wow.
And I have 4 children, which is located in different states. And I just thank God for Joyce inviting me to this Women's Talk.
Okay. You know, today's topic, oh my goodness, is called Memories of the Clothes We Wore. You know, memories are the way in which the mind stores and retrieves information. Science believes that there are 4 general types of memories, and types of information. There's short-term memory. What was that again?
What was that?
And there's long-term memory, past experiences. Because I can remember my 16th birthday, but Merle has just blown me out the water with all her memories. And then there's working memory. I have to use how to use your cell phone, how to drive your car, how to use a laptop, working memory. And most of all, then there's the sensory memory, things that you touch. Flowers smell really good. Senses. Memories can be beautiful. They can be sad. Memories can be ugly. They can be challenging, frightening, learning experiences, and memories can also be lasting. So ladies, let's talk about fashion memories, because I know you guys got some thoughts in your head. What fashions do you remember when you were growing up? Let me share one that can get you started. Remember the little short white gloves? Anybody ever have them?
Yes. Then we were little ladies then.
Yeah. And they weren't just for church. People wore them when they went to work.
No.
Yes, they did.
Mine were just for church.
Oh, yours were just for church?
Just for church.
Okay.
Only because I like dirt and I like to play outside in the dirt. My mother would, that would not work.
Why they were white, I don't know. I don't know why they were always white. You know, very interesting.
Very elegant.
Yeah, I guess it was elegant, huh? And dainty.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was about 12, my oldest sister, because she was years ahead of us, she had a girlfriend, and her friend got a job with the New York Telephone Company. I will never forget that. And she would come walking down the street with her little white gloves and her little suit on, okay? And I was like, oh, I can't wait until I can get old enough to get dressed and wear white gloves and a suit. Okay. I didn't want no parts of that by the time I got.
By the time you were old enough to do it? Okay.
Well, my first that I could afford when I got to New Jersey, I went to Englishtown. I bought me a suede black suit. Ooh. And I had purple gloves. Ooh. Purple shoes, and a purple hat.
Ooh.
And that was my church outfit.
Your Sunday go to meeting. Your Sunday go to meeting.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's interesting when you say your church outfit, because back then, people wore those outfits almost every other Sunday. You might have had two. I don't know how many church outfits you had. I think as I grew up, I might have had two in the winter, two in the spring. Okay, and maybe two for the summer. So, you know, you just learn to dress them up different, a pin, a scarf, a ribbon, and do something different. Lois, what other fashion memories you got?
Well, I had spoken with you guys before we started the taping, and I used to sew. Okay. So I could always make a skirt. Okay. Remember the mini skirts with the tube tops? I could throw together a skirt in no time. Put a tube top on, and you couldn't tell me I didn't look good.
What was that stitch called? A chain stitch?
Oh, chain stitch. Because I was always tall, and at that time I was a little thinner, so I could wear that stuff.
Okay.
And remember Twiggy? I was thin like that. I was very thin, but.
That was scary thin.
I know. I didn't know that back then. You couldn't tell me I didn't look good, but I used to sew. So I used to make a lot of different things. And I remember the time when girls could not wear pants to school.
Oh, I remember that.
You couldn't wear pants at work either. And when I started working in corporate America, you couldn't wear pants. So for school, in the wintertime, it's cold outside when you're waiting for that bus. So I would put my little pants on underneath my skirt, get to school, take it off real quick, put it in your locker, and then you could attend your class before homeroom. You would have to do that too. But
so we didn't have. I don't think I ever wore pants to school or any place else. But there was this. They didn't have tights. We called them Snuggies. Anybody remember Snuggies? And they would come down to about your knee. Yeah. because you could have a dress on and you
And
could
you
wear
could-
snuggies
that's right.
and your coat, and that's how you stayed warm, and the socks went up to your
your
knee.
knee.
You remember that,
I
right?
remember. Yep.
And that's how you went around. There were no tights, there were no pants.
No tights.
There were no leggings.
No.
All of that that's now popular was not something that girls wore. And I used to get angry because I would always feel like men had an advantage because they had long pants. And when
Yes.
if you grew up in,
Yes.
I grew
yes,
up in
yes,
the north,
yes.
so it would get cold.
It would get cold in the winter.
And all we had were these snuggies. And I remember my aunt would say, well, put on 2 pair, okay? And that's how we would go out, okay? So I think to this day, I tend to like wearing loose clothing because I can always put something underneath it because it would get cold and you had to have layers at that point.
And now with loose clothing, it's about comfort.
Yes, it is.
It's truly about, you don't want anything binding, anything tight, anything uncomfortable. You want...
It's about comfort because it can hide some of your fat.
And you can hide, yes, you can hide some things.
That's
so
for
for
sure.
a different reason now than it was when we were younger. So yes.
And remember
And
bell
sweats-
bottoms?
Oh, bell-bottom pants, yes.
They're coming
Now-
back.
Now, yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are. I saw it on TV just this week. Now, the interesting thing about that, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm 5'11".
Okay.
Back then, they didn't make things long. That's why I took up sewing,
Interesting.
so that I could make it so that the sleeves on my tops were longer, my pants were longer, and not up my leg now, even though they're wearing them up your leg. So, but all things go around in circle. So it was.
Sweaters were the big thing back then, right? And weren't people wearing
Yes, a lot of
long
sweaters.
sleeve sweaters?
Yes, which didn't quite make it. I would hold them in my hand. I would pull the arm and hold it in my hand to stretch them, to try and stretch it out. Long arms, as you can see. So
Well, I guess that's why one of the fashion people decided to design those sweaters. Have you ever seen the sweaters where they put their thumb through?
yes, I love them.
Really?
Love
Those
them.
things look so sloppy.
No. But you don't have to put your thumbs in. And actually, I think they were designed for runners, for people who walked, and were runners, because it helps to keep your hands warm. When you put your thumb in, it brings it down to
Yeah.
here, and you stay warmer. In sports clothing, that's where
Okay.
it was introduced. I think.
Joyce, there's one more thing you forgot. You know how we used to wear the wide skirts? The
Crinolines, with the crinolines.
And you put the crumble on it and the skirt would hold out like that. Well,
And scratch up your legs.
Lois made me remember. I took up home economics in Bobby County Training School in Clayton, Alabama, and my project is to make a wide skirt. I never will forget. It goes out like that and out like that and out like that, and the waist come a little like
Tiny.
this. And it was the color. It was striped. So you had to line up those stripes just
Yes,
right
you do when you
to
sew
get
it.
them to go like this. So I did sewing also, and I made my oldest son. He belongs to the Super Chief Band, and the band said, "Oh, we don't have time to order a suit, but if you make him one, he can perform this Saturday." And I bought the material and made him a suit to march in the Super Chief Band.
Wow, that's a good memory.
Yes,
That's a good
yes,
memory.
very good.
So I
Okay.
really could sew very well. Lois made me remember.
Well, good. We need those little stimulants
Yeah.
to make us remember some things.
And I couldn't sew at all. Couldn't
No?
sew at all. My
Couldn't
mother
sew a
was
straight
my
line?
mother was
I
a
could
tailor.
sew, too.
I could sew.
made a
Couldn't
whole
sew at
lot
all.
of things.
My mom was a tailor, and I refused. And she could embroider, and that's what she went to school for.
Okay.
And she did
Okay.
clothing for people. She
Okay.
could make coats. She
Yeah.
could make anything you
and
wanted.
she probably did not need a pattern.
Yeah, she was a
she was a
pattern maker
seamstress.
also.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
made patterns. if she
I needed a
to.
pattern to
No.
guide
need
me
a pattern,
into
yes.
the pieces and,
Yeah,
and
she
things
didn't-
like that, but I could put an outfit together. I made suits.
Oh, see?
I made coats. I made my prom coat.
See?
It was so pretty.
See? All my sisters could sew. Joyce refused to do that, so my lesson was you had to do something. I could change a tire,
Okay.
points and plugs.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I could work on an engine.
You were a mechanical person.
Because I stayed with my dad.
A mechanical
Because
person.
mom said
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
to do something. So
Okay.
I used to hang out with my father. And back then we didn't have new cars, and he was always fixing and tinkering and doing something.
Yeah.
And so I would hop in the car with him.
So what
anything to
would
get
you
away
wear?
with. What would I wear?
When you were doing all of that?
You still had on a dress and them stupid little bobby socks.
No, you didn't. You worked on a
Bobby.
car. You
Yeah.
worked on a car with a dress on.
I could not wear pants. We couldn't wear pants in my.
Well, I know, but you know.
You just, what can I tell you? You did. You
Yes,
wore
you did.
your dress and
You
you had
did. You
on
had to
these.
have your dresses.
My favorite shoes were those Mary Janes, I guess you call
Mary
them.
Jane's, yes.
Okay,
yes,
the little,
yes,
with the
yes,
little
yes,
buckle.
yes, yes, yes.
And you didn't want to wear them every day. And I can't even remember what we wore every day for shoes.
You know, I was trying to think about that. What did we wear every day? Because
Yeah.
when your parents told you go outside and play, you didn't wear a dress.
You certainly did. No, we did.
No. You weren't going outside with your dresses on after your mother's washed them, starched them, and pressed them.
See,
You weren't.
now
So
I know your
know.
age difference because, see, there was no other stuff to wear.
We did. We wore something.
In the summertime, we had these things called pedal pushers.
Pedal pushers, yes. But the pedal pushers were a type of short.
Yeah, something like
But
that.
it came down. Pedal pushers came
I know
down.
what it was.
Remember?
Culottes.
Culottes. There you go. Culottes.
You remember those
Yes,
culottes?
I remember culottes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's coming back
That,
to us.
yeah. That's that memory.
You
That,
start talking about memory.
Bringing back some
Culottes,
long-term memory.
yes.
Yeah. They were those big leg type skirts, I call it, I guess.
What were they called?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but yes. And you thought it was a skirt, but it was really pants.
That's right. That's right, because they were
Because
so
it was
wide.
so, yes.
It was so wide.
Oh.
Okay.
You know they still do that?
I know. I saw some
I've seen
in the
them.
store. They're coming out with these wonderful culottes.
Yes, they are.
I mean, there's only so many things you can do with a
Fashion.
thing, with fabric and you know,
Yeah.
to put it on a body. You
true.
know, how many things can you really do? So the cycle comes around
That's right.
again. Different fabrics, different patterns in the fabrics, little slight changes, but
Makes me think of jumpsuits. You know, jumpsuits that are worn today for
Yes.
style.
Yes.
If you think about it, men wore a lot of the jumpsuits when they worked on cars. When they did
Yes, they
certain
did.
type of
Mechanics-
work.
the
That's
mechanic
right.
suits, yeah.
And then there were, what were the jeans that had those big, oh my goodness.
jeans.
But yeah, they were made out of jean fabric, denim fabric, and you stepped overalls.
Overall. Oh, they still doing overalls.
Okay. You wore overalls. If anything, you could throw on a pair of overalls and go out in the street. But my mom didn't let us wear overalls. If anything, I used to have to take stuff from my father's. You know, I'd roll stuff up and cut stuff off so I could wear, and he would have a fit that you would even go and bother men's clothing. But that was how I would go with him, and get
Yeah.
all the oils and grease on you.
Oh,
from
oh
working
yeah,
under
that's
the
fun.
car.
That's
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
stuff.
So,
I also worked on cars.
Okay,
I
see?
I bought ramps
okay, so you could do
to
that.
drive up, change my oil,
Yep.
do different things on the
That's
cars.
right.
I loved it.
That's right.
So
That's
mechanical type
That's
things.
right, and had the right gloves and clothing for that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things I happened to see were those, I love them, those, I don't know if we said it, those saddle shoes, the black and white shoes. I call them, or bucks. Didn't they call them white bucks or whatever?
Something like that.
They were
With the
all
black and
white,
white.
almost like a suede type shoe. I don't know what kind of fabric that was back then. And boy, when you get a pair of those, you would make sure you kept them clean. Because we used to use shoe polish back then.
On your patent leathers, you put Vaseline
Okay.
to make them shine, right? Make them waterproof.
That's right. You
We
shine
didn't
'em
have
up
all
like
the
that.
waterproofing
No,
stuff
no,
that we
no.
have now. Get some Vaseline, rub it on them.
That's right.
Patent leathers would shine.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yes, they would.
That's for sure. But we used to
Yeah.
wear those. I used to love when they came out with the bucks and then you had the bobby socks. And then I remember as a young girl, I used to see my mom and my sister's nose get dressed up, my older sister, and they would actually have on those short socks with heels.
Yes, but they do that. They do that now.
Okay.
I've seen them do that now.
Okay.
There's a woman that comes to our church, and she does that. She has heels on with the short socks with the lace
little
around
frilly-
it.
yeah.
And it looks, wait a minute, it looks so cute. And she's a grown woman. She's 60 years old, but it looks, but then
bringing
she
back
can,
a
but she
style.
can wear all that stuff. You have to see her. She's about this big. Yeah.
Okay.
So she would, and when I saw it, I went, oh my goodness, I remember that. That is so cute. Yeah. Remember stockings? Remember you had the belt? But wait a minute.
No, we didn't have a belt. What is it?
You could knot it. But wait a minute. Remember I told you I was like Twiggy?
Yeah.
And remember the stockings back then had definition in them. Remember?
Yes, they did.
So I used to have to buy
get 'em on
longs.
right. Okay.
First of all, because the short ones, the little curve in it would be down here.
Not only that, they had that seam. You remember stockings
with the seam
up
in
the back?
it.
You
Yes.
Yes, I
Ooh.
remember that.
Now
You had
you
to get
were.
them straight because you couldn't just put them on your feet.
You could
You
not.
spent time putting those stockings
To make
on.
sure that seam was straight on that leg and straight on the other leg.
Oh,
Yeah.
You remember that?
Fishnet stockings.
Yep.
Fishnet stockings.
Fishnets are back because I got some in my
I know. I saw somebody
back.
recently with fishnet stockings on. But I haven't seen anyone with the seam stockings on. I haven't seen
I've
it.
seen them. In fact, if you go on Amazon, you can find
You probably
seam
could find it.
stockings,
You probably could find
that
it,
are
yeah.
coming back and that women are putting on because they wear the. It's not a fish. I guess it is a fishnet. These big, fancy design stockings, and they're held. They're on the back. Is the seam that goes up the leg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And what also is back, whereas we used to, you talk about how you hook your stocking into the
garter belt.
The garter belt.
Yeah.
Or we used to just take them and knot them.
Knot it.
Now you have them with the elastic.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
you
those
seen
came out- those
knee
came out
highs or a little
many
higher
years
than knee
ago,
highs,
yeah.
And they have elastic. You don't even need to. I've never had a pair. I don't know how I'd feel comfortable in.
They're very
pulling them up.
comfortable, but just a cautionary warning: don't put Vaseline on your legs. The elastic doesn't. They
They slip off. They slip off. They slip
Yeah,
off.
leave your leg, natural, no, and then because don't put Vaseline on and put those on and think they're gonna stay up for any long period of time because they're not.
Merle, you remember pillbox hats?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
You slap them little pillbox things on your head.
yeah. Now, did you wear a lot of hats?
Oh, yeah. I still wear hats.
Do you? Yeah, I never got into wearing hats, but my
Yeah, I
grandmother.
still wear hats when I go to church. And other
Yeah.
places, too, I wear caps. Yeah.
Okay.
She wouldn't leave the house to go to church without a hat on.
That's
my grandmother.
me. That was me.
She had to have a hat.
I think just in the last 5 to 10 years, I stopped wearing hats on a regular when I go to church. But I had hats. I still have in my hat box. I have 2 hat boxes with loads of hats. And you know what? I really should just probably get rid of them because I haven't put a hat on. Not, in the wintertime
Okay.
when it's really cold. I'll throw anything on to keep your ears warm or your head warm, but my head covered. But I used to wear those flamboyant hats with the,
Beautiful. There are women in my church right now that some of them wear those hats. They are gorgeous, and of course they're color coordinated with your
that's right,
outfit.
with your outfit.
And I go, ooh, one day I'm gonna grow up and be like them. But yeah.
I don't know if anybody was part of the center at the time, but they did a, oh goodness, I can't even, Derby Day.
No, I don't remember that.
Derby
Okay.
Day. And I have to tell you, I was so fascinated by the women that came in with all kinds of hats for Derby Day. I mean, with the flowers. And oh my God.
I missed that.
But yeah, it was, and I think they only did it once where they had Derby Day and people came in flaunting all kinds of hats and they made hats. They would make their own designs and come in. It was really very nice, and they would give out prizes for
Remember, you
best
used to
hat.
see haberdasheries around?
Yeah.
For men and for women?
You know where they still have haberdasheries around?
Where?
If you go to places like Midwest, St. Louis and Missouri,
Oh, okay.
Because I had gone there for conferences, and oh my goodness, you walk down the street and you got both sides of the street. You got
Now, are they?
ambidextrous.
I call them cowboy hats.
Yeah.
Are they Western hats with the
more Western
hats?
More Western.
I have one of those.
and they are costly.
Yeah,
I thought I could go in and get a hat for $50.
No.
They start at like $150 for.
Yes, they're expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. I had gotten one of those types of hats because I skied. When we skied out west, our ski
Okay.
club, sometimes we would wear our hats with the feathers
Yep.
around the feather bands. So that's why I still have it. But and like you said, I should give it away because I haven't worn that thing in so many years now. I don't even know if it still holds up. You know what I'm saying?
I know. But no, but then they used good fabric when they made hats.
Yes, they
Not
did.
these little thin, flimsy things that cost you a lot and they really don't hold, or they lose the shape so quickly if you don't keep them properly in a box or whatever.
So have you ever worn a fascinator?
Yeah.
Those are nice.
There was somebody's church went to an event to see a play, and we all had to wear hats, and that was part of what you had in order to get into the theater. You had to wear a hat. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah,
I
but the
forget name of play.
fascinators, they're too cute.
They're very cute. They
First of
remind
all,
me
I didn't know what they were called, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, fascinators."
Fascinators.
I was like, "No, the little hats that
I
fit
called
on
them
the side."
English hats. Hats from the
High
UK.
tea hats,
Yeah,
the
that's what they
different-
were.
yeah.
UK hats, okay?
Yeah.
So, ladies, I can't believe we're running out
no.
of time. Yeah, there's
Oh,
so many
such a
different-
wonderful conversation.
And I hope you've enjoyed this discussion as well as I
Yes,
have,
yes.
because it will be a lasting memory. Before I go, though, I want to say thank you to our guests, our viewers, and of course the PCTV crew. If you have a topic and you'd like to hear about how to get on the show, or you want to send it to the show, or you want to be a guest, you can email me at colesj7@gmail.com, or you can give me a call at 1-848-264-6735. And whether you're using your short-term memory or your long-term memory, remember, women talk about everything, anything, anytime, and anywhere. And ladies, I can't wait until we have this topic again, because there's always things to talk about.
There's so much more
I'm
we could have
telling you.
said.
Sleeveless, you don't show your arms, you don't go to church without your arms sticking out.